Mike and Ron. Here to help.
Yeah, there we go. You would be.
A frightening homosexual. In what way a frightening homosexual?
First of all, we definitely got to get the logo without our faces in it.
So that's step one.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike and Ron here to help. My name's Mike Sasson. That's Ron Bush.
How you doing, guys?
Let's just dive right into it. I love when Ron, first off, I go over some ideas for the show, and it starts a conversation, and everyone for 15 minutes is having amazing conversations. And I'm like, no, save it for the show.
Yeah, save it for the pod.
It's like I'm a freaking porno producer, and they just start fucking without us turning on the camera.
But the reason why I asked you to do a podcast with me is because we are full of endless shit. I mean, there's no pit to the.
I know.
You know what I mean?
There's no off position in the Genius Switch. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Okay, and just in case you are again listening for the first time, because it is the first show.
Yeah, Mike and Ron.
Yeah.
That is Ron Bush.
Yeah, I'm Ron Bush.
I'm Mike Sasson.
That's right.
And Travis is our producer extraordinaire.
Hello, everybody. I'm not on camera, but I exist.
Yes, he does. So we will be referring to a large man from Ohio, Travis, and that is who we are. That's what it is.
When I go to the wide,
as the black
I'm
man,
wide.
as the black man of this organization, I do recognize that the voice of God is a white man in this particular situation, but that is only by coincidence, not by purpose.
We really did pick 3 voices to be on this podcast that are some great audio voices.
I appreciate that, and I'm in incredible company. You guys have. You're a proper radioman.
Yes, I was on the radio in the city of Pittsburgh. Had 2 jobs. One with 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. I did a sports talk radio show, mostly in the coveted 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Time slot. Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
a downside to filming here, by the way.
Yes, there is a black cat lying there, which honestly I think it's our soothing voice, Ron.
Yeah, I'm gonna nickname. What's the cat's name?
Darkness.
Darkness. That's hilarious.
It's from Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Darkness. That is hilarious. Okay. I don't even need to give it a nickname. Darkness is perfect.
Yes.
So darkness is upon us.
Yes, darkness is upon us.
And the fucked up thing is, I used to have a black cat just like Darkness, and my black cat was named Malcolm X.
That's amazing.
And
I'm not. I don't think I'm allowed to name.
And
my cat Malcolm X.
But I've developed an allergy for cats.
There you go.
I've flown nays before. I've flown nays before I came over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't one of the selling points of the place is that the cat knows when we're recording?
Hey,
yeah,
you know what?
Absolutely.
This is the very first podcast I've done here where she's like, I don't care. I want to be amongst.
That's fantastic.
Because he's not. He or she. What is it?
She.
Oh,
because
am I in trouble because I identified gender?
Yeah. I have a non-binary cat.
We'll have you canceled by the end of this podcast.
Okay, all right. Oh, it was a good run, boys.
And so folks, so we're sitting here waiting to start recording, and it just popped into my mind. And Mike is a great friend of mine. I don't know how long I've known Mike now because I smoke weed, and we've had a pandemic, so I'm time drunk.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But I've known him for a while, and I respect the hell out of him. And I just looked over at him. I was like, wow, Mike would be a horrifying homosexual. Just like
in what way?
Scariest gay man. They call me the scariest gay man in America because I make straight men feel like women. When you know what I mean, like I treat straight men like bitches. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do.
Yeah, you do. I've seen you on stage. You've literally gone on stage. It's hilarious. If you ever see Ron do comedy, by the way, everybody on this podcast right now is a stand-up comic. So watch all of us and support all of us.
Absolutely.
I have seen Ron on stage literally point at men that exude straightness, exude non-homosexuality, and more or less Ron say, after this set, you and I are going into the closet and having relations. And the guy not really fighting that much.
Yeah, you like talk him into it.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
You talk straight men into homosexuality.
I don't talk them into it. I just show the work and occur. You know what I mean? It's over here. You can find that. I know what you're looking for. It's right over here.
Yeah, this is like you see it in the eyes, and you're just like, hey, by the way, you've been living a lie.
Yeah.
The truth is in that closet, and he just kind of gives you a wink, and you know that afterwards you've got it.
The funny thing about that is I can generally tell which guys are in the closet with it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are there some telltale signs?
Um,
Or is it just a feeling? Is it a gaydar?
There's first of all, there's gaydar.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, there's gaydar. And second of all, any guy who has to position himself in a dominant position around his girlfriend when I'm doing my set means he's insecure with his sexuality.
Okay. Yeah. So if he's
saying?
if he's like maybe physically kind of protecting,
they start like they'll like grab the girl's hand, they'll put their arm around the girl, they'll pull the girl in closer. You know what I'm saying? They'll start giving dominant posturing.
Yeah.
You know,
protect me from the gay, please.
Right. And so that, matter of fact, that's when you see me sometimes, I'm like, you can't protect him. I'll call it right out. Like when I watch it happen, I'll call it right out.
Your presence means nothing to me, miss. I am looking at that right there.
It's hilarious, but that's why it's hilarious.
Now let me ask,
because everybody knows.
Now, when you say that Mike Sasson, it would be
horrible homosexual.
Horrible.
Horrifying.
Horrible would mean I'm not doing it right.
No, horrifying. Horrifying homosexual, yeah.
Do you think I just, because I'm so massively big, that it would just be like, if I was gay, it's over kind of
No, I'm just trying to imagine what you kicking game in a gay bar would look like. I mean, because
me?
Yeah.
By the way, why this podcast isn't called Kickin' Gay?
You know what I mean?
What a fucking podcast that would be.
You know what I mean? It's just like it's like you're like I'm just seeing.
I would be there's got to be some nerd, like old man nerd gay guys who are just like, hey, I'm hip still, aren't I? Yeah.
I'm just imagining your stand up in a gay bar. I guess.
It's very I'm very How would you describe everyone here has seen my stand-up. Boisterous,
yeah.
But also very commanding, very preacher-like.
Yeah,
very much, this is
I
what
imagine
you
doing that, but I'm going to have sex with you tonight. And I'm like, hey.
Right.
You, there, twink, you're mine.
And you're a looming individual at 6'4", you know what I mean? I'm a big guy, but you loom above me.
You're a pissed off liberal Mitt Romney.
Yes. Mitt Romney's liberal son.
Yeah.
So, I think one of the most, because again, eventually when Travis learns to point a camera at himself, you'll know that he's a very large individual. Yeah. I think one of the moments of our relationship is one time you hosted like almost continuously when I first moved here in Los Angeles.
7 days a week.
7 days a week at the Fourth Wall NoHo.
Right.
And, like dudes sometimes do, you kind of get into somewhat of a wrestling match or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And Travis, being a big guy, kind of goes, well, I'm wrestled. I'll and then, but I kind of like pushed him down, or I kind of.
We did. I'd equate it to mercy. Where both our hands are like this, and I gave it everything I had, and then you just overpowered me for maybe the first time in my life.
Wow.
And it was at that moment I realized this man could fuck me against my will.
Wow.
So I think that's where
he's
getting it, and now you're getting that vibe as well.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. But you see that attitude right there?
Yeah.
That's why I date white guys. You know what I'm saying? You guys are like little fucking dominoes and shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just, all you had to do was wrestle his hands out. He's probably going to fuck me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it. That's the end of the game.
I didn't immediately jump. Sasson can penetrate me against my will.
That was okay. Yeah, that was maybe the third thought,
that's
not the first. Third thought. First thought was, wow, he's strong. Second thought is, he's like 10, 15 years older than me. Third thought was, he can fuck me. That was the third thought. Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Yeah, that's you only heard the third.
No, that change right there. Yeah. That's what I heard. You know,
actually, my first thought was I felt the need to train like Rocky. Like I just watched the Russian win and went, I don't have enough. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know,
those are such great films.
I trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 4.5 years, and I was never that great at it. I do love it. You know what I mean? But one thing you do learn is that you just don't talk shit to people.
Oh yeah.
You have no idea who you're talking to. You know what I mean? And guys his size, Travis's size that. You think, oh, I'll just beat his fat ass or some shit like that. Motherfucker will beat your ass.
Yeah.
Or even, I always thought Nick and Nate Diaz, UFC fighters.
Yeah.
To me, just look like guys.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They just look kind of like
they
look a little white trash. Don't tell them I said that.
You can see them in a bar someplace. Right?
Yeah, and I would think personally, I'd be like, I'm way bigger than this guy.
Right.
I could take him, but both those guys.
But people who are trained to fight, like there are videos online of some big guy in a bar talking, being a drunk idiot, and then some UFC fighter who's like 5'4", just pummeling him. But it's okay if one person's not trained to fight and the other person is trained to fight. Physical size obviously is always important, but it's not if one guy knows what they're doing, the other person doesn't, and it's one of the things that as you grow older, you do learn. Like one time, a buddy of mine invited me to a club in like Santa Monica. Now, anybody invites me to something, I'm almost like, you know what? I live in California. Why not? Let's just do this shit. So I go in there, and there's a table with all of this alcohol and everything like that, and he just looks at me and he goes, "Hey, Sass, grab yourself a drink. We're partying, whatever." I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever." I'm pouring a drink, and I'm sitting around, and I'm being the 40-something-year-old guy amongst a bunch of 20-year-old, cool people. And I'm like, "Well, this is an interesting thing to look at." And then all of a sudden, this just, queen of the white bitches just stands up and goes, "Who is this guy? And why is he drinking from my table?" And the guy who said to me he goes, "Oh, yeah, it's my boy." And she sits there and goes, "Well, who are you?" It turns out my buddy had just basically been like telling me, he's like, "Yeah, grab a drink, Sass, see what happens."
He was just kicking it.
He was just fucking with me. And I just thought that he had like gotten the table, and I had already gotten like 3 drinks. So this table is sitting there wondering why this giant old man is just drinking their drinks. And so this, the biggest guy in their group, who was like my height, but in like 20s, like stands like nose to nose with me. And he's just like, "Yeah, man, that's not fucking cool. That's not fucking cool, man. I kick your ass. I can kick your ass." And my college football me was like, "Dude, break this guy's neck. Break this fucking guy's neck." And then my I have a current job and I am an adult voice said, "Get out of the club. Just get out of the club. Just say you're sorry and get out of the club." And that was like the 2 angels and demons fighting on my shoulder. My juiced up 1996 Mike Sasson going to 2023 going, "Shut up, you pussy. I'll beat your ass." And then eventually I was just kind of like, "My mistake. You guys have a great night." And I just got out of there.
I will say though, you are 3 drinks till you tell them to leave size though.
Yeah. So, I got it. I guess I have to rein this in for a second. So,
okay,
ladies and gentlemen, who's listening to this podcast? Okay, the name of this podcast.
Let's just rewind this.
Is Mike and Ron is here to help.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think our first area of helping.
Yeah.
Okay. Is. I think, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard now how white people think. You heard 2 white guys, and their minds just completely went on to white man speak, and I was impressed.
That's fair.
This was like a wildlife documentary.
What did you see? If you were narrating the white on National Geographic,
our interaction.
This is just fantastic, and so.
But what did you hear in specific?
So what I heard was, and hear me out on this one. Okay, what I heard was how white men do not school shoot, right? Like, you heard the argument, you know what I mean? It's like they reached that boiling point, you know what I mean? And there was the option, right? Now, if there was an M16 in his trunk, he would have probably had a much more difficult time driving out of the parking lot. He could have got to the car, but when he got to the car, he'd be like, "Them motherfuckers think they're going to fuck with me," right? And just you heard the rational white man. And so, white people,
yes,
I want you to rewind this podcast and play back what these 2 white men were saying to each other. Okay? And just know that is how you de-escalate yourself.
Yes.
Okay?
De-escalation of self.
It has nothing to do with how much pussy you got that week.
Nope.
Okay? It should, but it doesn't. Right?
So ultimately, kids, what you did here was how, in my opinion, a grown-up thinks.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, I can understand if that kid went to school with me And by the way, I was somewhat in the wrong. I should not have been drinking his drinks. I mean, obviously my buddy's fucking with me, and you know, I almost
but that guy
give a tip to that cap.
And we do need to. And then the next thing I heard. Okay. The next thing I heard, real quickly. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Okay. And brothers are not walking up into a club with bottle service and just being like, "Oh, I can drink from this right away," and assume that they can start drinking from that shit.
Interesting. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, you will get your ass shot and killed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the first thing is, I know your friend is white.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Just to start off with, because there ain't a niggas ain't gonna do some dumb shit like that to end up getting you fucking shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Two, you know what I'm saying? You're white. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas ain't just gonna be like, wait a minute, who do you know here? You know what I'm saying? There was like no question that this could be, you know what I mean? You know, and so I'm just really impressed with the entire situation. I think that, first of all, it sounds like you guys had a great time.
It was a story.
And the young man who was your size had every right to be a little bit upset.
Yeah. Right. But he was, I would say, the aggressor in a way, the physical aggressor.
Well, again, yes, he was me 20-something years ago, where in the group, if you are the alpha, you are the 6'4" big guy.
You have to play that role.
You have to play the role where I'm gonna make this right.
All right, Mike.
Yeah.
So now tell people, how can you help? How can you tell? What advice can you give to that younger you, that younger Sasson, that younger, you know, 6'4"
big guy,
chiseled jaw, football player.
Yep.
Hairy chested.
Oh, very hairy. My nickname was Sasquatch in school.
Sass. Yeah. Not just because of the name.
Not because of the name, because of the hairiness. Here would be my advice to that young man.
Yes.
And to all big young men.
Yes.
First off, with great power comes great responsibility.
Wow.
The Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm a Marvel fan.
Yeah. When you are the big guy, use said power to protect and to help.
Right.
Do not ever, you know, now I'm going to sound like a Mr. Miyagi, you know, do not attack, use it for defense.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But also remember that
Preach.
there is a tomorrow. There is a next week.
Yes.
And if you have a black eye,
you can kill that motherfucker next week.
Yeah, there's always time for karma to get that guy.
Plan that shit, nigga. You know, you need gloves, you need plastic. You need you gotta be
now I'm Jimmy in Goodfellas, where I tell my buddy, keep him here.
Don't be stupid.
Keep him here.
Don't be stupid like that white boy out in the Midwest and shit, nigga. Really? You're like going to the
the Idaho guys? Like,
yeah. Come on, man. You don't go to the car with your gloves on. You know what I'm telling you? And I'm looking at him like, look, this is the same type. These are the type of white guys I date. I'm telling you, it's fucked up. I don't know what it is.
What is, like, what do you mean what it is?
By the way.
What is?
Can I? Okay, so.
You can intervene in your own podcast.
I did. It popped into my head, and if we continue, the only subject that I wanted to bring to this motherfucker tonight is Avatar 2, The Way of the Water.
All right.
Interesting.
Go for it. Okay.
Have you guys
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I haven't seen Avatar 1 or Avatar 2.
Okay. You haven't seen 1? Interesting.
Everything about it doesn't seem like it would appeal to me.
Man.
You don't like Blue Ladies?
Man.
No.
It's cinematically speaking.
I can understand the concept of going to a theater and the fact that James Cameron can put on an incredible visual show.
Right. Cinematically speaking, it's a breathtakingly beautiful film to watch. You know what I mean? But the script is complete trash.
Exactly. That's not something I'd enjoy.
It's, you know, and James, I know what you're trying to do, brother, James Cameron, right? But it's another colonizer movie. You know, it's white man shows up, you know, to the savages, and within an hour and a half is doing everything they can do better. You know what I'm saying? And by the end of the movie, he's led them to victory. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
that is so many films. That
like
is so many films. I show up and I will teach you the better way.
Right.
And towards the end, you will appreciate the fact that I showed up.
It's because me, the white man, can show up. And that was one, right? That was basically one.
Yeah.
And so two, you know, and they're coming to, and you know, it's like the heavy-handed, you know, raping and pillaging the land of resources messaging, which I get. Okay, I'm a major environmental guy. You know, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So this, and the last time they were coming for that horribly named unobtainium is what they were coming for. All right, just James, you could have smoked a little more weed and come up with a better name than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is a terrible. These are the things that made me not want to watch 1 or 2.
Right, and so that was what they were coming for the first time. Okay, so I get it. Okay, you're coming for unobtainium.
Yeah,
I get it.
Cool.
The second time,
cool.
You know what I'm saying? The second time, and you have to understand now they got their asses kicked.
Cool.
Okay, they had to fly back across the universe.
All right.
Yeah. They get rolled.
And so then they're coming back now. Okay. To Pandora. And the reason they're coming back now is revenge.
Just to rain down hellfire, if you will.
You know, they were coming to they literally the guy that they killed in the first movie. They reloaded his AI up into another fake colonizer body, and so they're like, so we're here. What's the plan? I'm just going to paraphrase the 3 sentences that almost made me laugh out loud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, and everybody in the theater's like gripped with telling people, you know, like, what's the plan? We're going to go down there and kick. We're going to find that Scully and kill him. Basically, I'm like, wait a minute, y'all motherfuckers just flew 5-6 starships across the universe, and you're not even coming back for the unobtainium. You know what I'm saying? You're coming back to kill this motherfucker.
This does not seem like a film that you spend $500 million making.
Man, listen, I went on a date. I paid $29 a head, 2 people, $29 each. Get up in this motherfucker IMAX to sit there and watch these fucking goddamn bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then halfway through the movie, they fucking kill some whale-looking creature and suck his brains out and talks about, oh, this can, you know, reverse the aging process. And it's, you know, I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? What the fuck?
Can we go back to $30 a ticket?
That's what I'm saying. Motherfucker, you better have a good time. You better have a goddamn continuity script. $30 for bullshit like that. You could listen. Let me tell you something. Okay, listen.
Tell me something.
I paid $29. I paid $29 for IMAX to go see Transformers. I'll admit it. I paid IMAX to go see Transformers. You know why?
Why?
Because I did some fucking goddamn mushrooms. And if I'm going to go do some mushrooms and watch fucking some bullshit ass script where robots come back to Earth for the second and third fucking time and still lose, motherfucker, I just want to enjoy the graphics. That's it. I'm there to watch robots fight.
Now, let me ask you a question. When you saw Avatar 2, what were you on? Because you were on a date. Were you effectively on enough hallucinogens to make it worth your while?
No, that's probably the problem.
That's okay. Now, let's Mike and Ron here to help. Ron, tell the people, what do you need to do to enjoy Avatar 2?
You have to go with at least like four squares of some mushroom candy. You know, at least 4 caps.
That's a good amount.
At least a good full cup of tea. Something, whatever you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Just go load it up. It's 3.5 hours.
Jesus
you know
Christ.
What I mean? Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying, motherfucker. It's like, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, at the halfway mark, when they fucking kill the whale and suck his brains out, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Why did y'all do that? There was no setup. It was like.
But here's the thing. Stoned out of his mind, Ron would probably have enjoyed that.
Be like, you're eating his intelligence.
Right. And thankfully, and you know how you know the date went well? You know how I know the date went well?
You fucked?
No. We did not.
Wow. See? Way to jump to conclusions.
Right.
I apologize.
That's number 1 with me. That's how the date goes well. Okay. 1, we didn't fuck. 2, we both laughed at the movie around the same places.
Ooh, very nice.
There you go.
We were both in the what in the fucking heavily goddamn fuck are we watching right now?
That's good.
You know
the synergy. That's good.
That is. That's chemistry.
Right.
You're on the same page.
Right. And so that's I was happy about that.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying? Now let's go back to that $29 a head.
Yeah. You're down $60.
Motherfucker, we went to what's the name of that goddamn cafe? Cafe Gratitude before.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I'm
expensive.
Motherfucker, yeah, we're about $150 in now at this point. $150, $200 for that bullshit.
I effectively think that what you need to teach the young people out there, because I think that's who's mostly going to listen to this, is if you're going to go to Avatar, first off, be stoned out of your mind. But 2, make sure, and this is in general, with anybody that you want to have.
Go to In-N-Out. Go to In-N-Out first.
Go to In-N-Out first, yeah.
Go eat a bunch of fucking shrooms, go to In-N-Out, go to the movie, fucking goddamn shit in the fucking seat. Have a good goddamn.
Yeah.
You went, I was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, mushrooms plus food, you were poop your
First
goddamn
off, that's how I would have been. For $60, For $60, I'm shitting in the seat. For $60, I'm shitting in the seat, and I'm telling the person for $60, you clean that fucking.
You have a good.
$60, I should be able. You should provide me with a diaper.
Have a good goddamn time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fuck it. I mean, son of a bitch.
I would also, if we're here to help, I want to help the villains of Avatar, just because if you can travel across space and time, that means you don't need to fight with guns anymore. You have space-age technology. You could just drop like a big rock from space, shoot it, and just blow the whole planet up if that's your goal.
Dude, they said
that's all you want to do.
Thank you. They literally said in the movie the reason why they were back is because they had destroyed Earth and his resources were gone. Okay, so what about so you fly to Pandora instead of doing the original plan like the moon and Mars?
Yeah. Would you imagine they already have colonies on, because if they're already in another planet far, far away,
right,
like Alpha Centauri or some shit like that.
Which I'm fine. If you're colonizing,
James Cameron is an excellent director of visual. He's not the best in terms of script. Like, okay, I've thought about this. What his
definitely not
his best movie trilogy or whatever movies that made him were Terminator.
Yeah,
right.
Amazing.
And I thought about one time I was watching Terminator. Do you realize that if you're in the future and you send a Terminator to kill John Connor, you know instantaneously that you were successful by the fact that you don't understand why you're standing there?
Oh, yeah.
Because you killed John Connor. So that means there was no John Connor, there was no resistance, you're good.
Right.
So consistently, why are they just picking points in the lot? Why don't they just consistently send Terminators every 2 seconds? It's a time machine. Just keep sending.
Keep pumping them out.
Yeah, just keep pumping them out till eventually you get to a point to where you don't know why you're sending Terminators.
Well, first of all, Mike, okay, and I don't want to have to call it your privilege here, but if you're in the future and you're just pumping out Terminators, I mean, there's, I'm sure, a budget someplace that you have to adhere to. And now
the machines have a budget?
They have to. I mean,
that's a good point.
They have to. I mean, come on, you just can't just be pumping out, fucking Terminator after Terminator.
But if this is the most important thing, this is the robot climate change. This is the robot trying to defeat poverty. No, I'm just saying this is their battle for their own survival, because ultimately John Connor defeats the machines. If that is the case, there's no budget when it comes to the amount of Terminators that you can send. My God, you splurged on the Arnold Schwarzenegger outside, skeleton.
Yeah.
That's a splurge. You telling me you went in front of a board and said, hey, we're going to make the Terminator look like the 7-time Mr. Olympia. Be like, that's a little bit of a little bit of cash.
If Transformers hasn't taught us anything, we know that there is not full acrimony within the advanced species of Autobots and technology that can kill us.
Yeah.
So, surely, I mean, look at Kang. Kang is just a regular guy who's able to travel throughout the multiverse, throughout time, and just try and kill everybody, right?
He's a descendant of Reed Richards.
Absolutely. Who's a descendant of Reed Richards.
Smartest man alive.
I mean,
both of you just spoke Spanish to me. That was
Mike.
That was.
See, Mike, this is why if we were in that nightclub with those 24-year-old women, that we would be right now. We would be talking right in there. We'd be like, "Oh my God, like I love the Scarlet Witch." I'd be like, "Yes."
Be like, damn right.
I would be going after the girl who just came back from Stanford for her PhD, and then I'd be that'd be the one I want.
She-Hulk?
What? She-Hulk? I would totally go with She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's all I got.
She's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah. You guys are roughly the same size.
Yeah, seriously.
Absolutely.
That is a Division I athlete in the future too.
She can carry you up the steps.
That'd be nice.
I gotta be honest. That turned me on a little bit. Yeah,
seriously.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's like. No, I mean,
has a woman ever held you like that?
Oh, absolutely not.
Neither me. Now that would be a wonderful.
At my lightest as an adult, I've been like 250 pounds.
Wow.
Like. That's at my level. I look pretty damn good at that.
Oh yeah, there's a picture on the NoHo fourth wall of you at that size.
Yeah, exactly. That's 250.
Yeah, you're a big dude.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
I got the width,
yeah,
the girth, if you will.
Absolutely, man.
And since this is the first episode, let me introduce a little bit more, just so you get a little bit. Again, we're all stand-up comics. Again, my name's Mike Sasson. Originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, doing comedy out here in Los Angeles. Ron, give a little.
My name is Ron Bush, originally from Philadelphia, West Philly to be exact. West Philly in the house with some niggas. And I have been in California. It's 23 years as of July 4th this year. And I turned 54 years old on March 17th.
And this isn't camera tricks, young people. That's what he looks
that
like.
Young and
he looks
handsome.
that look. And Travis is from the great state of Ohio.
Yep, I am from Dayton, Ohio.
Yes.
Or outskirts, the farm part of Dayton, Ohio, southern Ohio. And I've been out here since 2013, on and off, roundabout.
I'm the newbie. It'll be 4 years in.
That's right, you are, yeah.
4 years in March.
I forget sometimes that you're fresher than us. Because
How do you like it?
I love it.
I'm sorry about that.
It literally... I said this when I did a comedy show in Bakersfield this weekend, which was fun. Good people.
I still haven't been up there. I've heard
it's so incredibly. That's the thing about Southern California that you don't like when you're out of when you live in Pennsylvania or whatever. You think that everything is Hollywood. When someone goes, "Oh, California," Bakersfield is Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Johnstown,
I've heard
Pennsylvania.
It's just like where I grew up.
Yeah, it's exactly that, and it's that, and you'd kill in front of that audience because that's exactly what they want to hear. The same kind of comedy that you get in Altoona, Pennsylvania, or Morgantown, West Virginia, or whatever like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this is exactly. I wanted to kind of go into the entertainment industry. I wanted to meet talented people such as yourselves, and be in a community with talented people. And outside of the last 2 weeks, the weather has been spectacular.
Right?
Other than our hurricanes.
Yeah, we definitely need the rain, and
Yes.
as the old cliche at this point, you know what I mean? And you know, so Mike, actually, so now you come to LA, you're killing it in the stand-up comedy game.
I appreciate that.
Very much so.
We are having our first podcast today, and you came with a subject that you wanted to talk about.
I'll talk a couple of subjects. Now, first off, as I mentioned before, typically here in Los Angeles, Southern California in general, the weather is spectacular. 72 and sunny, pretty much 300 days out of the year. But the last couple days, really since I came back over the new year from visiting the family out in Pennsylvania, the weather has been incredibly, incredibly wet. Just rain, constant, hard rain.
Right.
And the thing that gets me is the articles that come out in Los Angeles papers.
Right.
Because as soon as it rains, everyone in California is like, okay, all that drought bullshit's over, right? We're done with the drought. We can all water our lawns this summer, right? And so they always have to have these kind of articles where basically there's two guys, one of them's measuring how much snow's up in the Sierra Nevadas. And the headline, this is from the Los Angeles Times, California suddenly has so much snow, but even this extraordinary bounty isn't enough.
Right.
Which is just
ever enough?
Yeah, just telling us constantly, it doesn't matter if we've ruined the last 2 weeks of your plans. It hasn't made a dent. You're still fucked. You're not watering your lawn this summer.
Right. Here's what we have to remember. Okay. Here's what we have to remember. We're all going to die.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so
I mean, yeah.
you know, the planet is fucked. We're going to burn at some point. Or we're going to go into living into some type of pod by the time we're like 90.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now that we've gotten that out of the way.
Okay.
You know, the snowpack, listen, 20 years from now, we're going to remember, we're going to be the ones who remembered snow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm old enough to remember when you could have sex without a condom and not have to worry about it, have to worry about dying. You know what I'm saying? I'm the last generation of that. We're the last generation of remembering what snow was. You know what I mean? We're going to watch the polar bear wither and die right in front of us.
I think my generation might be the last generation to do cocaine recreationally.
Absolutely.
Without it being cut with fentanyl.
Right.
These Gen Z kids,
Yeah.
they'll never know the joy.
I mean, I'm not,
Preach on
again,
that. Preach on that.
I've lost
Preach
some
on that.
friends here because of that. When did they even just start doing
Dude,
that?
the last 2 years, no exaggeration, it just came out of nowhere. Man.
Yeah.
Like it's a CIA op, it feels like. Or so the rumor is like either it's something like that or it's a cartel thing.
Excuse me.
Where they're cutting, they want to take out certain people who are dealing, and so they're cutting, they're like intercepting their cocaine and then cutting it with fentanyl, so a lot of people die and they won't buy from them anymore. They'll buy from another cartel.
It's ridiculous.
But again, that's all speculation. No one knows what's happening, but it's a pretty common problem.
This comes back to again. We're not just about problems here. We're about solutions. Here's a solution. if you come to Los Angeles, one thing that strikes you is the fact that weed is sold right next to 7-Elevens and burger joints and pizzas and everything like that. Why don't we do it the same thing with cocaine?
Yep, I agree.
I could not fucking agree more.
Because
I've
literally
regulated, pure. That way I don't shit my pants every time you do it because it's cut with baby laxative.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you go.
By the way, I'd pay more for that because,
sometimes you need a movement.
Well, sometimes you need a movement. If someone if that was an offering, you'd be like, okay, this cocaine will give you high, it'll make you feel invincible, and give you the best shit of your life. I'm like, you know what? That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. You mean I can clean my house and have a great poop?
Yeah,
absolutely. You guys are hilarious. And here's the thing. I mean, if you go to Europe, Germany, Holland,
all places in Europe,
they have much more robust understanding of what addiction is and how to treat it. And so like heroin and your addictions, you're weaned off of it, you can get steroids administered to you. So if you want to weight lift, you know how to properly administer them and come off of them. So you're going to have the least adverse problems to your body, whereas they just leave you here to fend for yourself.
Yeah, like the attitude here is basically like, well, you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
Right.
And you're like, that's not how any of that works. That'll never be how
that would be like not giving someone a stent in their heart because you know what? They shouldn't have been eating bad food anyway.
Yeah. Right. Shouldn't have had all that gravy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you shouldn't eating all them tacos from that Taco Bell. You like that. Maybe going to that McDonald's, getting them McDoubles.
Yeah, that's what you get.
That's what you get. You should have been like me and having that McDouble with the Diet Coke.
We do have this. Our country does have that mentality, doesn't it?
Like, you break it, you buy it mentality is what I like to call it.
If you do drugs but I do find it funny when someone does sit there and say, and I'm now sober for 3 weeks, and then pauses for an applause break. And I'm just like, nah, not yet.
Not yet. Sit down, buddy.
Not yet.
Call me at 30 years.
Yeah, seriously.
Exactly.
Call me at 30 years, buddy.
Yeah, don't give me that.
If not, shut the fuck
you got plenty of time for some relapses.
Absolutely.
Now, a couple other ideas. We had, we were talking about the environment, that we're all screwed and we're all going to die and we should all just be enjoying the ride. One thing, though, that is coming up is that do the one where it talks about the environment. Yeah. So they did a study, and I'll read it out loud for people that are listening. According to Bloomberg, recent studies by the American Chemical Society and the New York University Law School's Institute for Public Integrity found gas stoves emit pollutants like nitrous dioxide, carbon monoxide, and fine matter at levels considered unsafe by the Environmental Protection Agency and World Health Organization.
Right, no shit.
Yeah,
so know that.
to put that into plain, simple English, you turn on your gas stove, it emits. If you have fire in your house, it might not be the safest thing.
Yeah.
So
no, what are you talking about though? When I burn stuff, it goes away.
Yeah.
Right. But now here's the thing. I think the point is that people started making like, oh, they're going to be coming for your gas.
Yes, because like for instance, they the fine senator from the state of West Virginia, which borders all the states that we're from. Right. So we know this guy, who by the way is knee deep in drug money.
Old Joseph Manchin. Nobody knows.
So here's him.
Drugs like Joseph Manchin.
Basically, the headline: U.S. Safety Agency considers ban on gas stoves amid health fears. Now, by the way, they're not considering a ban. They're just saying, hey, there's some shit we have to look into. Yeah. And then he goes, this is a recipe for disaster. The federal government has no business telling American families how to cook their dinner. That's pretty much all the federal government does.
It's ridiculous.
That's all the federal government does is tell you what you should, you should and shouldn't do.
So then, what is the job of Mr. Manchin of the Food and Drug Administration again?
Yeah. The food.
If you could just
and drug
just let me know. I just need to know what they do for a living after that statement. And here's the thing. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Manchin? Okay, and to every complete fucking moron that would consider something like that to be even remotely possible within the next 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say tomorrow, okay, Emperor Biden decrees that gas stoves come out of every home, and now you cook with electricity. All right. What does that look like? All right. What does it look like? How does that fucking happen? All right. How does it happen? All right. Are they knocking on your fucking door with a fucking electric stove and gently ripping out your fucking appliances and fixing your fucking goddamn plumbing? What's wrong with you?
Sounds a lot like socialism.
Jesus fucking Christ. Think for a fucking second. It's the same thing with the robots and the vaccine. Listen, I understand you can be against vaccine, okay? I have no problem with you being against vaccine. I don't care. 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 I don't care what your opinion is. Matter of fact, you're like a vegan. I don't care.
Yes. Vegans and people that are against vaccines are now in the same book.
I literally just don't care. I just need you to, I don't care what your opinion is, okay? I don't care, right? That being said, robots in your bloodstream, okay? You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
All right? You're a fucking idiot. Why would they? First of all, let's ask about how much that would cost. And why haven't you heard about this miracle robot that could go into your blood so far until now? And by the way, how much does that fucking cost? And by the way, why are they doing it? So they can control you? It's called your fucking cell phone. It's
You already did it voluntarily. We all have tracking devices on us already.
It's your cell phone. You've given all you have no privacy.
None.
There is none. There is none. Please don't pretend you have privacy by turning off your cell phone.
I know.
Please don't tell me that because you do some stupid fucking nominal thing that you are, dude, this is
the thing that gets me is I have a bit where when anybody brings up like that, conspiracy theories that like 9/11 was an inside job and that the vaccine is trying to control you. I say, okay, if I hope that's true because I want someone in government that good at their jobs. That would be incredible if we could get 9/11 guy on gas prices.
Right.
If we could get guy who took us to 2 wars in the Middle East and spent $7 trillion, $7 billion, whatever it was, ridiculous amount of money on that, and we can get that person on like education. Seriously, if there's competent people in government that are that good at what they do, let's just say, hey, Jeff, great job on 9/11. You did a wonderful job. We're just going to move your office down here, and you're going to work on all like climate change and getting heavy industry back into the United States because you did really well with making the world go to war for 20 years. So we're going to go over here.
And I'm down to entertain, and I'm down. Listen, I don't trust my government.
Of course not.
I don't trust either political party. I am not I don't consider myself to be any type of an apologist. But 9/11.
Yeah.
Right? Was it an inside job? Do I think that? No. Now, is it possible when they found out that shit was going to happen?
They didn't do anything about it?
I wouldn't put that against somebody. But do I have that proof? No. Am I going to walk down the street and bet my house on it? No. Why? Because you don't have to look any further than walk down the street to see Americans are incompetent. There's no way. I mean,
I'm always under the category of I don't believe anybody's that smart.
Yeah, man. Me and my dad talk about that stuff all the time because he's a conservative man from Ohio, and sometimes he'll think something is a plan or a ploy or something, and I'll be like, "Do you think they really are that smart?
Right?
Do you really think they're thinking about it?
That is much? That organized, right?
Or that they're just."
Dude, these are regular people.
Just trying to do something that benefits them, probably, and then
they're regular people doing their job. They want to go home and jerk off or fuck their wife just like you do.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. It's
most of them are dumb as fuck, like dumber than your average guy.
Dude. You
Greatest line of George Carlin. Think of the average American. Now think 50% are dumber than that guy.
Well, listen, here's the thing, and to people who are out there that are not comedians, and to the comedians, you'll probably agree with me. Listen, there's a certain way that you have to talk to audiences so everybody gets it.
Yep.
You can't talk above that. You can't talk above an audience.
Stand up is a conversation.
It's a conversation, and you have to talk in simple, emotional, direct terms.
I always say you got to take their hand, and you got to walk with them.
That's right. That's right.
And not in a patronizing way, but just in a
Not everybody's like smart.
Well,
and it's not that's not an insult. I mean, it's just
Patton Oswalt had a great story. He was featuring for Bill Hicks in North Carolina, and he wanted to really impress Bill Hicks. So he sat there and goes, I'm going to do the most on the edge political, religious material that I have because I want everyone. I want Bill Hicks and everyone to see how good I am at this and all this kind of stuff. So he gets up there in this conservative part of North Carolina, does his set, doesn't really go over that well, and as he's walking off stage, Bill Hicks is sitting there, and you can tell that like he's kind of in his own head, but he's kind of like, that wasn't too good. And he walks by, and Patton Oswalt tells the story. He goes, Oswald. And he looks at him and he goes, you got to walk him to the edge. And I said, and that was what you just said. You can't just throw them. You have to kind of take them on a journey and walk them over there.
What works for me, the reason why what I do works is because I walk them to that.
Yes.
I get you to the point where you trust what I'm doing.
Trust. That's a big part.
And you're on board with, and there's a point to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not just up there saying, I'm going to fuck you in the ass or some shit like that. There's a reason.
It's not your opening line.
No, it's not. But
hell of a closer.
Yeah.
It's my pickup line in the gay bars.
He gets brought up that way. Give it up for, he's been in clubs and colleges all across the country. Give it up for Ron Bush is going to fuck you in the ass.
Right. But there's, number one, there's a purpose. And number two, you have to get them there. You know what I mean? And again, you can't talk in very complex manners.
It's almost, you don't want to be pretentious about it. Like, even if you have let's say a great lexicon, you have a very highbrow vocabulary. Why on earth would you ever bring that to your stand-up? Right. In my opinion.
Right.
Because you're really gonna fuck these people up.
Yeah.
Like some people hear 3-syllable words.
Yeah.
And start to cry.
But again, it's your. I've always said to people, if they go, well, I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm like, okay, if you take the job at the Chuckle Hut in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you took the weekend, okay? Right. You're not playing, you're not doing the Harvard, Lampoon's party. You're not doing, you're not in Berkeley or whatever. You're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. These are good people. They paid their money. Give them a night out. That's what you were paid to do. If someone comes up to you and says, hey, I want you to paint my fence white. You don't come back and it's painted purple and pink and all this kind of stuff. You took the money to paint the fence white. And if you want to paint someplace else your different color, go right ahead. But don't take the money if you don't want to do that.
And here's the thing. First of all, to kind of validate Mike's analogy, first of all, if you wanted to paint the white, say, mulatto, or Asian, or
no, white. Always white.
Did I say mulatto? Make it
mulatto? Are we allowed to say that?
No, we're not.
How about Ron was the first one to cross that edge?
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm canceled today. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Mike and Ron are here to help them not be canceled. That's the first.
Help Ron not to use fucking racially divisive terms from the 70s. Yeah. That was probably what's happening.
How amazing was, again, we're old enough to watch them. If you didn't use the N-word on an 8 o'clock sitcom, I don't think they would have put you on TV.
No. I mean, it's it's crazy, man.
It's shocking. They a couple weeks, remember a year or two ago, they did the live performance of the Jeffersons and All in the Family. And they said it 3 or 4 times, and they had to bleep it. And they told the audience this script was written in 1973. Oh, yeah. This is what it was. And they would say this and this was the liberal pushing boundaries, telling the world that we can all live together. And they were just saying it. And it was incredible.
I mean, you have to look what Don Rickles used to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don Rickles could not exist today. You know what I mean? I mean, just the way that he was going at race and making fun of, say, Asians and black people and all that. The way that at the end of every set, he told it was about love, and he, that he was there to, he goes, I want you to everybody should be able to laugh at each other and also, that whole 9 yards. But what he did when the shit that you go back and watch that, there is no comedian that would be able to get away with that today.
I would say he could exist, but he wouldn't be mainstream.
No way. Well,
he would be a niche act in certain parts of the country to where he'd be more the Branson, Missouri, not necessarily Las Vegas.
Right.
That's what he would do.
Right. He would not be one of the greatest comedians of all time.
He would not be remembered, because like you said, there's like 2 or 3 documentaries on Don Rickles. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that lived like the Forrest Gump life. Like I always think about like the Forrest Gump life, where you just like he's with everybody. Yeah, him
everywhere.
Yeah, just with everybody, knew everybody. Did everywhere from like I think he like did a show for Christopher Columbus. Like he was everything from there to Sinatra to all sorts of things. Absolutely,
he was at the first Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he did the Tight 10.
Yeah, he did.
As a comedian, I love him. His crowd work was insane.
Oh, and he did it into his 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still sharp too. Still sharp in his 80s.
Yeah.
That's one thing that makes me really love doing this is that people talk about like, oh, what are you gonna do? You know, we retire. I'm like, you're a comedian. There's no retired. You just find new audience.
Yeah, just keep telling jokes.
Yeah,
you just hopefully have money and you're old.
If you're funny, everyone's gonna laugh.
Yeah,
people, you can be, 25-year-olds gonna laugh at you when you're fucking 80.
We're proof of that. Yeah, we get up there in front of audiences where people in their early 20s
killing it, dude.
And just they don't care.
That's my demographic.
Absolutely, people your own age despise you.
Yeah, dude, I can't. Dude, I haven't dated somebody in my age group in a very long time.
That was such a long pause.
Nice.
That was such.
You were going through the years.
He was going through the years
in your head there.
I was all of a sudden hearing the song come over.
The way we were. Yeah. I can't even remember when I seriously dated somebody my own age. It's been,
you were 22 and he was like 22. That was probably it.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. Because like when I was in my 20s, of course there was no social media, barely internet, right? And so the idea that you would date somebody in your 50s or somebody 20 years older than you, or even sleep with them, it's just like insanely far-fetched. Like absolutely not. Now it's like I am a fetish. Like
a lot of daddies out there. A lot of daddy issues out there.
Dude, holy shit. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because of online, because of porn, I mean, these kids, these motherfuckers are out the gate. As soon as the motherfuckers turn 21, they're like ready to hang themselves from the ceiling in bondage mask and get spanked by. I was like, what the fuck?
I know exactly what I like. I've chronicled.
This is a little bit of a little bit of an aside, and this is to help Mike. Like sometimes we're here to help, but everyone's here to help each other.
Yeah.
I turned on. It seems like porn went to a place to where everybody is now into stepsister, stepmom, stepdad.
Yes,
that's a out of left field that was even a fetish. Dude. Is everybody just looking at their new moms and being like, I just want to bang the hell out of her?
I mean, and where's our society? I mean, dude, listen, I don't want to sound like the old man in the room, but I have to.
Where's society going?
I mean, god damn. I mean, there was a time when Woody Allen was frowned upon.
Yes.
Now, I mean, the most popular genre, period, is incest.
When did that happen,
dude? I was in,
well.
Was I someplace else? Was there a meeting and I missed it?
I was on Grindr in Salt Lake City. Before
what a place!
Before the pandemic, and there was brothers looking for a third.
Brothers, as in
brothers.
I thought you meant.
No.
My apologies.
No.
This was Salt Lake City.
Niggas don't do this. Of course they're white.
So two Mormon gentlemen in Salt Lake City.
I don't know what their religion was.
Let's just say Mormons because it's a funnier story.
Yeah.
We're looking for a man to share between them.
To share.
Right. A funny side note. Funny little side note to that. Number one, they were hot.
Oh wow.
Okay. Number two. Number two.
Better not have been ugly.
They actually they freaked me out. I actually thought that they would. I thought that if there were any serial killers, these would be them.
Yeah.
And so I went with the guy who his opening line was, "Hey man, look, don't nobody out here love black men like I do." That was his opening line, and he turned out to be the white supremacist with the tattoo on his ribcage. So I chose wisely.
Shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where did you give him that voice?
Huh?
Why did you give him that voice?
It's because it's hilarious.
I mean, that's probably his voice.
Yeah, that was probably his voice.
It's close.
Speaking of older people with younger people.
Ex-white supremacists.
Yes, ex-white supremacists.
As ex as you can get.
I'm being a monster.
Yeah. He was this,
everybody, listen.
He believed in the superior of the white race, and then he met Ron. He's like, you know what?
Nope.
I'm wrong.
You know what? Here's the thing, man. I think, to his defense, when you are raised up in a bad environment,
Of course.
and you get mixed up with drugs and the wrong people, it's real easy to get there. That was where he was. You know, so it's full product of your environment type thing.
It's a conservative area too.
Right. Yes. I'm not. So I'm not. You know. So I don't. When I tell people, you know, there's no. I don't like to. You know. I know. You know. I don't like to judge people from where they were.
Yeah. Yeah, and in case you're listening, white supremacist man, I'm proud of you for getting out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay, and that comes back to a subject.
He's a great guy, great guy. No, but you know, I mean, everybody's been there. You know, in their own form of really fucked up.
And we've talked about that, but that the concept we have right now in society is like we've already made note of it like 2 or 3 times in this podcast about canceling and all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
This concept of that. There is no redemption.
Right. Well, that's what my joke. That's what my joke forgiveness is all about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, there's, you know, you at a certain point, you know, first of all, there's always going to be somebody that says something that hurts your feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that. You know, second of all, we've all been that asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like I say in that joke, he was like, I want you to take the most fucked up thing that you guys like. I said, I'm doing an experiment. I want everybody in the audience to think of the most fucked up thing that you've ever done to a loved one or friend, all right, for this joke. And I want you to upload it to Twitter. Because if you're going to judge me, I need to know that you're worthy of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, you judge me, then be worthy of judging me. I've had a rough life. I've done, you know what I mean? I've made all types of fucked up mistakes. If you're going to judge me, so I'm going to listen to your advice, motherfucker, you better understand where I'm coming from.
And society moves forward. Now, I have a problem with people that resist that when they see the movement happening, they resist the movement.
Sure.
But ultimately, especially now being in my 40s and you being in your 50s, you see that like, hey, when we were kids, this was, you know, like we talked about, like on network television, there would be the N-word and nobody batted an eye. And they were actually trying to make a point about unity and togetherness and everything like that.
Absolutely.
And so when you sit there and be like, oh, we need to cancel this show, I'm like, no, you don't understand what they were trying. You don't understand what Archie Bunker was trying to do in 1972 to America. Because like my grandfather was a guy from Brooklyn who lived in New Jersey, and you want to talk about an Archie Bunker? That's who James Sasson was.
Sure.
And the thing was, he was born in 1920.
Right.
Damn.
Okay. He was, you know, went to World War II. He raised a family, worked the docks in Newark. Comparatively speaking to 2023, yeah, probably not the wokest human being in the world.
Right.
But again, things change. He passed away in 1989. So again, that I would say to anybody who says, well, then everything's changing and these kids are, I'm like, everything changes. Everything changes. And you're either going to be, your life is either going to be about remembering the past or embracing the future.
Right. That's exactly right. And, you know, and here's the thing, you know, as the black gay guy of this podcast.
We tried to get more, but none would be on with you.
I know.
We're Mike and Ron here to help, right?
Yeah.
So you know, to quote the Jamaican heritage, hear me now, you know. Everyone in my family has said something racist, homophobic, sexist, you know, at some point, including myself. Horrible, horrible stuff. And you have to treat their lack of knowledge and understanding with compassion.
Yes.
You know, when you talk down to people, you're turning them off. When you talk to them, they're understanding. Me and Adam Smith went to Vegas, however many months ago now, 4 or 5 months ago.
Accidental Chaos.
Yep.
Love.
And we did.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes, sir. And we went and did the show in Boulder City, which is always the reason why I took him there was for this show. What's up, Manny? At Backstop Bar. They always do like 100-some people. You know what I'm saying? And it's always like literally half Democrat, half Republican, like half conservative, half liberal. It is a fantastic room to do if you're a comedian. You know what I mean? Because you know you learn how to talk to a crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, again, if you're able to walk into a room and talk to 100 people that don't agree with everything that you're saying, and get them to laugh, you know, that's when you know you're a good comedian.
Yes.
And so, the night that we went there, it was hilarious. I would say 15 to 20 of them were in a biker gang, and they had the leather vests with Trump, sewn into the left shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Adam's like, he's like, what are you gonna do with this crowd, Bush? Like, kind of that thing. And I was like, nigga, this is why I come here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is why I come here. And I knew who the leader was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I made him the leader.
Yeah.
I made him my homie. And I destroyed his homies. And you know what I'm saying? And I kept just going back to him. I was like, listen, man, if these motherfuckers try to run, I just kick those motherfuckers back in here. They're going to be a man tonight. And saying stuff like that. And they were just they were just eating it up. But in the 30, 40 minutes that I did, they heard all of my jokes. And so when we're smoking weed and playing pool and drinking later, they learned. You know what I mean? You could hear in the joke, the way they were going back and forth, hey, Ron. You could hear they learned. And they would have never heard what I had to think. They would have never heard my opinions on this stuff.
Yep.
If they didn't come to that comedy show. And so now they're buying me drinks, and now we're partying and having a good time, And it's not about that you're a Trump supporter. It's not about that, you're from California. It's not about all that. Now we're homies. And they are learning how. So in the future, when they meet a homie like they want to know to let them know that I'm cool, man. I like you. And that's progress.
Yes.
Right?
The whole point isn't that we have to agree. It's that we have to learn to live with each other.
You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to live with each other.
Yeah.
And there should be a situation where tell you how old I am. I always thought the whole point was you bring your idea, I bring my idea, we compromise, we come with a good idea, and we move forward with it.
Like snuggling.
Yes.
I say at the end of this podcast, we snuggle.
Absolutely.
Right? And right?
That was not brought up in pre-production. But I think how long we got? How long have we been doing this?
We just hit 1 hour.
Yeah, we just what?
I forgot to write that down in pre-production.
Yeah, you should maybe work on that.
Yeah. They'd seen the contract. I thought you guys signed that.
Yeah, I thought that was. I thought we were ordering pizza.
Anyways,
Anyways, Ron,
you always think we're
for a first show.
Sure, you thought we were.
Yeah. Ron, for a first
Those
show.
aren't pillows.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, kids. Make sure you watch it.
What a fantastic movie.
There you go.
What a fantastic movie.
I'm Mike Sasson.
My name is Ron Bush.
That's Travis. Watch all his podcasts at his new studio in the heart of Hollywood, California.
Thank you guys so much.
First of all, okay, so, we're, ladies and gentlemen, I know we said we're going to do this for an hour and allow you to leave, but God damn it, we are so rapturously interesting right now.
Yes.
I need you guys just to buckle on in. Okay, just buckle in for a few more minutes.
You want to do a little more?
Sasson.
Yes.
Sasson. Yeah. We have. Listen. Look at him over there. Look at him. Look at him. Look how adorable.
I'm trying not to. But
You know what I'm saying?
Hi.
Yeah, how can you say no to that face?
I think Travis wants to go.
I do have a show in a couple hours, but
yeah,
we can keep going for a little bit.
Just, let me just say this.
Okay.
Let me just wrap it up this way.
You wrap it up.
Okay. All right. So y'all motherfuckers are going to be tuning in every week to Mike and Ron, here to help.
Yep.
All right. You get to hear this chocolatey, smooth brother nigga voice talking in your ear every week. Saying,
By the way, that's how I described it to people as well.
Saying, yeah,
From the billboard.
Saying, yeah, baby. Sit on down, let daddy talk to you. Every week, you know what I'm saying? You would have Mike.
And then I'm gonna talk like a radio voice from the 1930s. Hey, everybody!
I can't.
This is Mike and Ron here to help, where we teach you how to do wonderful things with your significant other.
Yeah, baby, you know what I'm talking about.
Mike and Ron here to help. Now we're gonna play some Count Basie.
Hey, Travis, why don't you find some music and play the brother out tonight? Well, Mike and Ron here to help.
Make sure you vote for.
Sound effect like that.
Make sure you vote for FDR because he's in no way in a wheelchair.
That's hilarious. Okay, so the idea behind the podcast in closing is we're going to talk about things, and we're going to give clear-eyed suggestions that we believe you should find interesting and funny. And if you incorporate them in your life, you will triple your income, and you will be famously wealthy, and people will like you. And so if you just hit subscribe at the bottom of this YouTube channel or wherever you're at, so you can continue to get our valuable insights, perspectives, and really, really stupid dick jokes, then please follow us now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank everyone. You know what? We just made the internet better. I don't know how we did it, but you know what? The internet was like at an A, B level. We took it to an A+. That's the whole point of this, is to make sure that if we're going to add one more podcast to the podcast C's, that it's worth listening to, worth spending your time. Make sure you support everybody here. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure that if you know anybody in high-ranking positions in the entertainment industry, mention that you liked Mike and Ron here to help.
Mike?
Yes.
I'm here to help.
We'll leave it at
that. Beautiful, guys. That was so much fun.
Yay.
Mike and Ron, here to help.